What's going on, guys? It's your boy Fireworks Mark, and I'm back with another video. So today's video is going to be about, what's canon in Dragon Ball and what's not canon. Dragon Ball GT versus Dragon Ball Super, all that. And I'm going to show you where it goes and what you can do yourself if you want to do it this way. Because to be honest with you, it all only matters what we all like, individually. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But at least have a valid reason for not liking it, But anyway, let's get into this video, man. First off, we're going to start off with the definition of canon and non-canon. Canon refers to the officially accepted storyline or body of works within a fictional universe, considered to be the true story created by the original author, while non-canon means something is not part of that official story and is considered outside the established narrative, often including fan-created content or alternate interpretations. Key points about canon and non-canon. Considered to be the authoritative version of the story, includes content directly created by the original author, usually the basis for discussions about a fictional universe. Non-canon, not part of the official story, may include fan fiction, alternate timelines, or story created by other authors, not considered relevant to the main story. So now that we have the definition of canon versus non-canon, let's get into Dragon Ball, baby. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to chronicle everything from the non-canon side to the canon side of Dragon Ball. And I wrote it all down. So let's get to it. Now, on the non-canon side of Dragon Ball, it starts off Dragon Ball Curse of the Blood Rubies, Dragon Ball The Sleeping Princess and Devil's Castle, Dragon Ball Mystical Adventure, and Dragon Ball Path to Power. Those are the four non-canon movies of the Dragon Ball series. They are not a part of the original story. They are not a part of the original manga. Nothing. They are just alternate, little situations that happen. So they are not canon. Then you go into DBZ. And you start off with the original 1 through 13 movies of Dragon Ball Z, which is The Dead Zone, World's Strongest, Tree of Might, Lord Slug, Cooler's Revenge, Return of Cooler, Super Android 13, Broly, Bojack, Broly Second Coming, Bio Broly, Fusion Reborn, and Wrath of the Dragon. Now, where does GT fall in line in all of this? You have that entire timeline of non-canon. What you can do, if you love Dragon Ball and you want it to be a part of the timeline, add it to all the non-canon movies, because it ties right into that universe. Because Wrath of the Dragon, as we found out, takes place after the Buu saga. That's the last movie that came out for Dragon Ball Z that's not canon. It came after the Buu saga. And Dragon Ball GT happened a few years after the Buu saga, when, Goku met Oob and all that. So theoretically, technically, they tie right in perfectly together. So all that is non-canon, but if you want to, as Akira Toriyama said, if you love Dragon Ball, you can include it to, the main story if you want, but it's not canonically a part of the series. See what I'm saying? So again, non-canon, boom. I put it all on the screen wherever you see it at. All those non-canon movies can lead right up to Dragon Ball GT. That is perfect. That's where that goes. Now, let's get to the canon. So the canon authoritative. So the canon series for Dragon Ball. You have the OG Dragon Ball series, which includes all the mangas. The OG Dragon Ball Z series, the shows and the mangas. And then you have a special, the History of Trunks, which we know ties directly into the show of Dragon Ball Z. Trunks went back, killed Frieza and all that. That ties directly into the show itself. And as we have now found out, Dragon Ball Daima happened before Super and after the Buu saga. So you have the OG Dragon Ball series, the manga, the OG Dragon Ball Z series show and manga, the special with Trunks, Dragon Ball Daima, and then you have the movie Dragon Ball Z, which is canon, which is Battle of Gods, and Goku fought Beerus, and then you have Dragon Ball Z Resurrection of F, when Frieza came back. Then that ends Dragon Ball Z, and it goes into Super. Now, you have manga and the show of Dragon Ball Super. That goes after, the Tournament of Power and everything is done. That directly goes into Dragon Ball Super, the Broly movie. Then you have the Dragon Ball manga again after the Broly movie's done, and you have, you know, the bigger arcs, the ones that we, you know what I'm saying, like made waves or whatever, which is the Moral arc and the Granola arc. Now, during the Granola arc, the movie Super Dragon Ball Superhero, that was happening at the same time as the Granola arc, because as we've seen at the end of the Granola arc, Black Frieza came, dropped down, dropped Goku and Vegeta. That is towards the end, because at the end of the current manga, where we are now, we're waiting for re-releases of the new, you know, releases of the new manga or whatever. It ends with Goku, Gohan, Broly, all of them fighting on Beerus's planet. That is the non-canon versus the canon. That is, I just chronicled everything. Canon, non-canon. So now you don't really have to be confused on what's what. Because as we read again with, you know, the definition, it refers to the officially accepted storyline or body of work within a fictional universe, considered to be the true story created by the original creator, while non-canon means something that is not a part of the official story and is considered outside the established narrative, often including fan-created content or alternate interpretations. So, you good? You got canon versus non-canon. Now, Dragon Ball GT. How do we know that it is not canon? I'll tell you why. As Sensei Akira Toriyama himself said, "My sincerest gratitude to all those who bought this Dragon Ball GT DVD box. Being a lazy bum by nature, I was absurdly happy when I managed to safely finish up Dragon Ball's serialization and finally be released from deadline hell. The TV anime people wanted to continue for just a little bit more, but I just couldn't do any more than that. So I left the Dragon Ball anime completely up to the anime staff. Story and all, that was Dragon Ball GT. So Akira Toriyama did not have anything really to do with it. The author, Akira Toriyama himself, did not write Dragon Ball GT. Therefore, it's not canon, but let's keep reading. In car lingo, GT means Gran Turismo, a fast, high-powered car in other words, but in this case, I had GT mean Grand Touring, a great journey since the scenario was that they'd be running around the universe. For GT, all I did was just come up with the title design, the initial main cast, and some of the machines, and also do a few images. However, I was able to rest easy, handing things over to the excellent staff who had continued on Dragon Ball for all this time. In particular, the animated Nakatsuru is amazingly skilled and mastered the peculiarities of my drawings in no time at all, to the point where there were even times when I couldn't tell whether I had drawn a certain character design or if he had. For instance, one of his designs was Super Saiyan 4, which appears in GT, and the picture above is a portrait that I drew looking off of it. Did I draw it well? Dragon Ball GT is a grand side story of the original Dragon Ball, and it'll make me happy for us to watch it and enjoy it together. As you can see, a lot of stuff that people were saying wasn't even true. Because for so long you've heard, Akira Toriyama, he came up with the design for Super Saiyan 4. No, he didn't. As he just said, he saw Nakatsuru's Super Saiyan 4. And then, looking off Nakatsuru's, he drew Super Saiyan 4 from his hand. He didn't even come up with the design for Super Saiyan 4. So, it is a side story of the OG Dragon Ball, meaning that it is not a part of the original. It is a alternate universe, meaning non-canon, meaning that it didn't really happen. You know, it happened on a side story, basically is what I'm saying. But yes, there you go on Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT is not canon, it is non-canon. But as he said, if you want to continue it and, you know, love it yourself, then you can do that. It's not, you know what I'm saying? I can't tell you what to do with that. If you want to consider it part of the main story, then do that. But just know it is factually not part of the main story. It is factually not canon. It is a side story. And again, as we know about canon versus non-canon, again, it is considered outside the established narrative, often included fan-created content or alternate interpretations. So it's not canon. I just did a lot of talking. But yeah, I really hope that clears up some stuff for y'all, because it seems that, you know, everybody's been kind of lost in the wind with what's canon versus what's not canon, and people arguing and whatnot. Well, I just laid it out for you. This side is canon, this side is not canon. Akira Toriyama said about Dragon Ball GT. There you go. Canon, non-canon. Whew. Anyway, that's all the videos I have for you guys today, man. I hope you guys enjoy this one. You know, I hope I was able to shed some light on a few things. If you haven't already, please go check out my video about Star Wars. They mad at me in my comments, like really mad at me, when all I did was give my opinion because I didn't like one movie of the 9. That is so stupid. But anyway, if you haven't already, subscribe, like this video, man. Hey, and I'll see y'all down the road for the next one. Bye, Mark.